Hello peeps. So as you guys know, my son was hit by a vehicle, well, purposely hit. The way this guy did it was he came screeching down the side road, turned almost into my son and almost took out two pedestrians. And so my son took off, right? And then they come at a red light, so my son gestures with his hand saying, like, what are you doing? So the guy got all butthurt, and what he did was he puts his vehicle in reverse, gets behind my son, floors the car, hits him, sends him flying 10 feet into another vehicle, and then purposely steers his vehicle and backs up over my son's bike, takes off going in the wrong direction on the other side of the road, blows through a red light, and disappears. So lots of people saw it. Lots of witnesses came forward, and the cops made an arrest. They found the guy. He's been charged with reckless driving, dangerous driving, hit and run. He's lost his license immediately just because of those traffic violations, which I'm sure were over 5K just for that. But as far as it comes to injuries in Alberta, you're kind of hooped because they put a cap on soft tissue injuries. So there's like a $5,000 cap, and apparently they're going to depreciate the bicycle, even though it's a bike that's valued at over $12,000 to get a similar replacement, which you really can't replace that bike because it's the same bike that was used by Groupama FDJ, which is the French cycling team, in the Tour de France. Now the frame of this bike is cutting edge, even for then, and at 893 grams, and the group set on it is 3K, over 3K, plus you add pedals, plus you add this and that, and you're looking at over 12,500. So they're gonna, from what I understand, insurance is gonna depreciate that, and he's gonna get really hooped. So he's lucky if with the injuries and the value of the bike, which they're gonna depreciate to about probably 3,000, if he's even going to get a replacement bike. Meanwhile, the cops visited my son again at home and asked if he wanted to see this guy brought to court, and he said yes, absolutely. So in about a year's time, he's going to go there. I doubt he can recover more costs there, because that's just basically going to be for like, here's my testimony, this is what the guy did. The guy even smiled when he left after he hit me and ran over my bike, and so on and so forth. But the funny thing is, the guy that hit my son, when the cops went and see him, he said, oh, I was afraid because, like, the guy seemed aggressive, I was afraid for my life, and all this bullshit. So seriously, you being locked in a vehicle feel threatened by a skinny guy on a bicycle. The cop didn't buy it, but, they have to do their thing. So that's pretty much where we're at with this. It's kind of sad, but it is what it is, So hopefully, guys, send some good vibes towards my son, that he at least gets his bike restored, with injury money, which isn't much, and whatever they throw him his way. And I'm going to tell him, I'm going to help him push the insurance company, the guy's insurance company, because, in the end, you buy this bike, even though it's 9 years old, it's not like, it's a car that you drive it every day. And these bikes are, like, there's components that you have to replace, like the crank, the chain crank, and the cassette, and, derailleur sprockets. You have to periodically change those, like he did on that bike, so that it stays in new condition, because those are the only parts that really wear out, apart from brake pads. And, even today, you look at the top of the line racing bike, the frame is like a little over 900 grams. The frame that he's got on that bike is 893 grams. So it's still a super elite, legendary bike today. So send good vibes, peeps. Okay, so here's a nice little turn coming up. Let me know what you think and how I took it. I banked this thing just before it would start to scrape. It's kind of sweet. I didn't want to push it too much because after all the thunderstorms we've had, I've seen a lot of roads with a lot of grit and dirt that got moved over from rain wash. So yeah, this was kind of fun. I'm doing a voiceover because I gotta figure my audio here. So be safe out there, peeps, and catch you next time.